Hi, I'm Red! Red the Fox! The Super Kitsune, the wonder without blunder, the rocket with no pocket! And if you know what I'm referencing there, well then I am truly sorry for what you have witnessed, because that was truly scary. But regardless, it is time to continue the No Damage Run series as we tackle the next major Crash Bandicoot game in the series.
Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back.
That's right, we are moving on to what I feel is the best Crash game in the series. This is by far my favorite Crash game in the series. This is the definitive Crash Bandicoot experience in my opinion. I've been looking forward to this one, so let's get right to it. So our story picks up right where the last one left off, with Cortex supposedly falling to his death. But luckily, a cave breaks his fall. Because logic?
Crystals. Of course.
Fast forward 1 year.
But Dr. Cortex, to reach full power, we need not only your master crystal, but also the remaining 25 slave crystals from the surface. How do you expect to retrieve them when we don't have any Earthbound operatives left?
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we need to find an enemy.
That's enough screen time for the villains. Let's go check in on the heroes.
Crash? Crash? Crash! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
Meet Coco Bandicoot, ladies and gentlemen. Tawna's replacement. They decide to get rid of the controversial figure in favor of something a little more kid-friendly for a kid-friendlier game. And so, we're going to be seeing her from now on in the Crash series. So, what happened to Tawna, you might be wondering? Well, according to official trivia about the Crash series, apparently Tawna left Crash sometime between the Crash 1 and this game, and left to go date Pinstripe or something. That's pretty, interesting. I don't need that box. So here we have ourselves an intro stage, something pretty unique for Crash games, because most of them don't have that. And as Coco requested of us, we need to go back home and find a battery pack for her. And I'm sure we're not going to get interrupted in any sort of weird way. Just gonna collect a few Wumpa Fruits along the way, because why not? Into the totally not suspicious sparkling circles of... Whoa! And suddenly we arrive in some sort of weird room, and it's suddenly getting very dark and scary.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome. I apologize for the crude means used to bring you here, but I rather expect a written invitation would have been turned down. I need your help. Surrounding you are a series of 5 doors. Through each door lies a well-hidden crystal. The crystals look like this. Bring me the crystals, Crash. That is all I will say for now. We will speak again.
And so in an odd twist of fate, Cortex is now asking us to find power crystals for him. And aiding us in our ability to do so is this new Crash series staple, the Warp Room. It allows us to access all the stages in any order that we choose. Non-linear gameplay. I like it! And yeah, many Crash games in the future will be adopting its style. So if you were so inclined, you could start the game at level 5, if you wanted to. But me, I like to play the stages in order, so to level 1 we will go. And so we're off to Stage 1, Turtle Woods, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but this game has analog stick control support via the DualShock controller for the PlayStation. Even though this game came out a month before the DualShock controller, the functionality was there, which I guess isn't too awkward, but still pretty cool. Makes playing 3D games so much better. Crash also has a number of new moves up his sleeve. Pants. Whichever. He can slide now! Whee! He's so much faster with this! You can also jump with a slide and go much higher and faster with your jumps. You can also crawl around when you hold the circle button. You can high jump doing that as well. And you can do belly flops! This game is so much fun. It takes everything that made the first game good and made it so much better. That's why I like it so much. This is my favorite game of the series. Alright, let's see if we can do a slide jump to get over this pit. I'm okay. But you can wade through the mud like so. It's all the neat little visual gags that I like that. Some of the stages are also a good bit wider than they were in the previous game as well. There's just so much to like about this game. Not among those things are these new bounce crates, which take a good bit longer to break and get all 10 Wampas out of. That's kind of annoying, but oh well. Use a belly flop to get down here, and we'll find ourselves in an extra area. This section is entirely in 2D, and, well, we can still use the control pad to do that. I like being able to jump between the D-pad and the control stick when it comes to games that jump between 2D and 3D like this one does. I really do not like playing 2D sections using an analog stick because it feels very awkward and I often throw myself down pits. So here's some new enemy types, or somewhat new at least. These turtles here have spikes on their sides which would prevent you from being able to use your spin attack on them. That was very close. I'm pretty sure I was touching the spike there, but hey, I'm not going to question it. But yeah, spinning these things will not do it. Will only get you killed. You have to jump on them. And we have some vultures here. No big deal. And if you look up ahead, you'll see a new type of crate called Nitro. They're like TNT, but unlike those, if you touch them at all, they will explode. They are very unstable, so you'd best watch out. Steer clear, stay as far away from them as you can. A slide jump will be needed to get over here, otherwise you're going to have to answer to them in some way. This bounce crate would make it a lot easier to get over there, but we gotta do it the hard way because we're after a gem, and those count as boxes. These, ostriches will retract their head as soon as you get close to them, so quickly get across. Otherwise you'll miss your chance to get to these boxes up here. And once they stick their heads in the ground like this, they're not going to stick them back out, so yeah, that's kind of weird. This is also the only stage they appear in, so it's not too bad. This green explanation box here will set off every nitro in the stage. And so that's how you have to go ahead and break those, again, for your box completion. What's weird, though, is that if you break, if you do set off all the nitros, any boxes next to them, despite being next to an explosion, will not break. Which I always found kind of weird. Also, you saw that, yes, I am now taking Aku Aku, because from this game and onward, when you break an Aku Aku mask, he doesn't come out as an item, he just goes instantly to your side like so. So I guess we're going to have him along for the ride if we want those gems. Also, bonus path! Bonus rounds are no longer accessed by collecting icons of characters' heads. Now you just go into one of these sections, and it's basically just a run where you can collect extra Wampa fruit, break boxes, and get one-ups. Rather than just hey, here's an opportunity to save, hope you don't die. They actually act like a proper bonus this time around, which I do appreciate. Oh yeah, you can also see how many boxes you've broken throughout the stage by pressing triangle, which used to only show your Wampas and lives. So that's pretty nifty. So as long as you have the number of boxes memorized, then you can get an idea of how many you have left to break. Which I guess is kinda handy. I like standing on the very edge of the mud here, because then I can make it look like Crash is wading through the mud, even though he's only like a foot deep in it. It's funny. Alright, so let's get out there and see if we can find, by Cortex's description, a well-hidden crystal. It could be anywhere, guys, so look sharp! I'm just gonna clear out these turtles. Our good old checkpoint crates are back. Get ourselves another Aku Aku mask. Should I come to a stage that has 3 of these in the stage, I'm going to be waiting for the invincibility that comes with it to wear off before I continue the stage, because, well, even though I can't make this a no Aku Aku run, I'm not going to use him, at any rate. So we got a question box up here. We're going to need the turtle's help to get up there. It's a 1-up. Can I get up there? Thank you. And we have ourselves another gauntlet full of rats. Usually I hang off to the side, but if I was feeling a little riskier, I would just jump on them as they were coming out. But I'm trying to keep this no damage, so I'm playing it a little safer than that. Got ourselves another box in the mud here. And there it is! It's the crystal! The well-hidden crystal. In the middle of the jungle path. And why are those birds circling it? Are they circling? Are they worshipping it or something? Get out of here! Alright. One more mouse gauntlet. Excuse me. That's kind of strange. This one had 3, the last one had 4, and the one before that had 2. Shouldn't it have gone 2, 3, 4? Eh, whatever. And we managed to break all the boxes as well, so we are greeted with a gem at the end. If that gem wasn't there, we would have instead been greeted by a counter showing us how many boxes we missed. And then we jump on this teleporter, and we're done with the stage. And we arrive back at the warp room, and put up our crystal, and our clear gem. And for collecting the gem, we're greeted with a crash dance. Whee! It's super fun. It's a goofy dance. I like it. Incoming transmission!
Well done, Crash. I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain. During the course of my intellectual pursuits, I have stumbled across a force that threatens to destroy the world. Crystals are the only means of containing it. The fate of the world is at stake. It is imperative, therefore, that you bring them to me.
There, Crash? Crash! Crash! Are you there? Are you there, Crash?
So, let me get this straight. Cortex wants to save the world? Coco is trying to contact me? I was only gone like 5 minutes. I was going to get her battery pack. And she's already like, Crash, where the heck are you? But I'm digressing too much. As you can see up there, we actually have another gem that we could collect. We're going to go ahead and go for that right now, since we can take care of that in just a couple of minutes. Now, the parameters by which we have to get this other gem, which is the blue gem, we have to get through the entire stage without breaking a single box. A fairly simple task for this stage, in my opinion. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that just to have that out of the way. There's only one section that's really going to be a problem, and you'll see what I'm talking about once we get to it. It's an interesting challenge, to be sure, but I just feel like this is something that didn't live up to its full potential in this game. Still, points for creativity. Excuse me. Okay, there's the section up ahead. Now, to get through this, you'll want to try and bounce on this bounce crate once, because just bouncing on it doesn't count as breaking it. Okay, another mouse gauntlet. And let's keep moving. And this turtle is bent on being in my way. Okay. Should be getting pretty close now. Yep, one more mouse gauntlet to go. I think I killed one of them before they had a chance to spawn. Nice. Okay, now we're at the end of the stage, and there's the blue gem. Now, normally if you went through this stage and were breaking boxes, then it would tell you something like 52 out of 0. And then you would have to use that to determine that you need to get through the stage without breaking any boxes. And so we come out with more treasure! And another crash dance. Yay! And we have another transmission.
So, you were helping Cortex gather crystals, yet you have acquired a gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to stop you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he's created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering.
Well, you kind of got cut off there, but it sounds like Brio is getting involved in this as well, and he wants us to collect the gems. So sheesh, between that, and Cortex wanting me to get the crystals, and Coco wanting me to get her battery pack, and all I want to do is take a nap. Ugh. Life as a Bandicoot is tough. But we are about done here, but before we call it a video, let me show you the new save system. You just walk up to this screen over here. It will access the memory card for you. And here, you can just save your game outright. I'm gonna overwrite this one because I don't know what it is. I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and rename it later. But there we go. Our game is saved, Turtle Woods is done, and we can go ahead and call it a video. And next time, it's off to Snow Go. And even though this was the first stage, yeah, we still have a few outtakes and some extra stuff to look at. Enjoy! And I'll see you next time. It does take a lot longer to break these bounce boxes because it seems like you bounce even higher than before. And it just makes the... Really? Did I kill that thing? What the... It looked like I bounced on it, but then I... What? So if you go through your first stage without collecting the crystal in the stage, then you'll be greeted by this extra transmission.
No, Crash. I said bring me the crystals! Now, get back in there.
Come back a second time without a crystal, and you'll be greeted with another transmission.
No, Crash! To save the world, I need crystals. Crystals! One more time. They look like this. Crystals, Crash! Go back through one of those doors and bring me crystals!
Come back a third time without a crystal, and you'll be greeted with yet another transmission from Cortex.
Look above the doorways. Above each, there is a big crystal-shaped slot. Fill all 5 crystal slots in this warp room by retrieving 1 crystal from each of the 5 areas. Only after we have filled all of the slots in this room can we continue on our quest. This is the last time I remind you.
And that truly will be the last time he reminds us because there are no more transmissions after that. You then have to go ahead and get a crystal to move on with the story. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting.